A while ago, I spoke here about The Sopranos, mostly because of the death of James Gandolfini, who played the lead character in the show, Tony Soprano, with such distinction. Last night, a movie, Analyze This, popped up on TV, and I thought, hey, here's a story about a mob boss going to see a therapist, same as in The Sopranos. So I thought I'd have a look and see how they handled that by way of comparison. The movie is a Harold Ramis feature, and he's certainly done a lot of good work. And Billy Crystal has a hand in it, and he's done some good things too. And Robert De Niro is in it, playing the mob boss, and Robert De Niro could play a mob boss in his sleep. So maybe it would be worth watching. It wasn't. I think it did well at the box office, enough so that they made a sequel, Analyze That, and that probably did okay too. It's not a horrible movie. There are some funny things in it. It's a two fishes out of water story, Billy Crystal hanging with the mob, and tough guy De Niro getting in touch with his inner child. But it's all wrong. It's dishonest, at times embarrassingly so. The Sopranos was a tragedy, and it never flinched from that, never forgot it, not that I can recall. There were humorous moments and sexy moments, but they were brief interludes, quick bursts of relief on the way to inevitable doom. Analyze This was a comedy, which is fine. That's what Ramis and Crystal do best. But where it went wrong was when it asked the viewer to take it seriously, that De Niro and the others were real mobsters. That's when it got embarrassing. The actors waded through it as if it was working, when clearly it was not. And the audience must have been forgiving or didn't care because it had to be a moneymaker or they never would have drummed up the sequel, which I've not seen but can only believe is much worse than the original. Comedy and tragedy, it's very difficult to mix the two. And at the root level, it cannot be done. You cannot play something for laughs and also ask the audience to take something like The Mob seriously. The Mob isn't funny. The wise guys may have their moments, but they are not out there for yucks. Killing people isn't funny. Analyze This was funny in spots, but overall it was disgraceful and depressing to watch. Disbelief I'm willing to suspend, but not my sense of reality. Here you have two stories about a mob boss breaking down and seeking the help of a psychiatrist. What could be more similar? And yet it isn't possible to make a comparison. The two stories are completely different. One is a work of art and the other is not. De Niro should have turned in his Screen Actors Guild card. Instead he took the De Niro. Maybe he was doing it in his sleep. The Sopranos was honest art, or what I call heart. Analyze This was fake art, or what I call fart. Fart for me is painful to watch. It leaps over plausibility and asks the audience to do the same. But that means the story is sewn together like Frankenstein's monster, lumbering clumsily and pathetically along. Like the monster, it resembles a living thing. It looks human, but only if you are looking at it very superficially. If you consider it on the level of the popcorn and soda, maybe it doesn't bother you. You laugh in the right places and forget it quickly when it's over. You can't compare Analyze This with The Sopranos. You can compare it to The Whole 9 Yards with Matthew Perry and Bruce Willis as a dentist and a hitman. It is exactly the same silly, sad, dishonest mishmash, only worse. If you're trying to make a work of art, you have to be honest, from beginning to end. Otherwise, all you do is crank out farts. They may make money and get some cheap laughs, but they stink. And they are embarrassing. And they have nothing in common with heart.